My name is Ian, and today I'll be your MC. I'd like to take this privilege to welcome everyone to our very first breakfast, e-breakfast over Zoom, I guess they call it. I'd like to thank Sabrina and Vincent for this opportunity to MC for this event, and I'm sure everybody's looking forward to learning things too over breakfast this morning. I'm really excited actually. So the guest today, I'm sure everybody knows, but how she got to know our guest today is basically when I first started the business. Our country manager of Australia at the time, Charlie Bear, an executive director himself, I kind of asked him, is there any young people I can look up to? And this guest is actually one of the first names that Mr. Charlie Bear actually brought up. So I'd love to introduce today our guest. In our business, he's considered a national supervising coordinator. So in US, he makes in excess of 10K, sorry. And he's also the director of field development for Market Canada. So please help me welcome Mr. Andrew Chee.
Hey, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
What's up? I'm doing good, man. Having my usual breakfast drink, my Milo. You guys got that in Australia?
Oh, yes,
Milo?
we do.
Yeah. Okay. So something that I'm used to having like back home in Malaysia. So I got this piece. We got a set of these. I don't know if you recognize these, Ian.
I do from the hawker stores and everything, the morning hawker stores, yeah.
Yes, sir. All the kopitiams, they use this.
Awesome, that's awesome.
Back in Malaysia.
How are you doing currently? And how's everybody back in Canada doing right now with this, I guess this minor pandemic? I guess called minor.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty major.
Sorry,
yeah. No. I mean, it's but I get it. Like because we're so fortunate to be in a position where we can work from home. Our income hasn't been affected. Like in fact, our business has been growing. Has been going up. It's just it's unfortunate to see that this were the circumstances that had to take place for people to realize like what a powerful tool that we have. But yeah, things are going fine. Our lockdown is not as tight as our counterparts in Malaysia. I don't know how it is in Australia. You guys like lockdown real good there too?
Fairly, not too bad. Sydney, Melbourne is definitely a lot tighter than Western Australia, Perth. We're still able to walk out in groups of 2 max, I think.
Okay, so you can walk your dogs and stuff.
Yeah. As long as the 1.5 meter distancing and everything as well.
Right.
Yeah, but it's all right. So far, so good. But yeah, pretty excited actually. But yeah. I guess like one thing I would definitely love to learn from you definitely is actually how you got started with your unfranchise.
Okay.
And very initial sort of like in the beginning, you can share your initial strengths and weaknesses when you first started and how you slowly developed them.
Right. So I started my unfranchised business right out of university. Actually, a good friend of mine, one of my best friends from university, was when we were in school, we were always looking for things to do. We actually wanted to. It was a good friend of mine, Frank. We call him Uncle Frank, and another one, Victor, who was my first friend that I met in Canada. We wanted to look for something where we could start a website and sell stuff online, because that was what we were doing in class. Like what was supposed to pay attention to the teacher, we were actually like online shopping online, like see who could find the best deals. And so we thought that was pretty cool. We thought it might be moving, that'll be the future, and we're looking for something to do. But I don't know if you ever had a business idea or tried to open a business of your own. Have you?
Currently for me, no. I think my friends I actually want to start a music band together actually.
Okay.
So we tried that. Not the best, and
right.
we just want to have fun really playing music. But in terms of business side things, not at stage yet. Nah.
Gotcha. The reason I asked is because, anyone who's ever started a business knows that in the beginning, it sounds like a great idea, but then when you, look into it, it's like opening up a can of worms. We realized very quickly we didn't have the resources, we didn't have the capital, we didn't have the right connections, no experience, and didn't know what the heck we were doing. So put that in the back burner. But right when we graduated, one of our friends, Uncle Frank, he found this company, and he came up to me first, and he said, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I think we could treat it like a master's program. If
Yeah.
it works, if it doesn't work, we learn something. If it works, we don't get a degree at the end of it, but you get a six-figure residual income. So that sounds pretty cool. So we looked at it, didn't know what it was, but we liked the concepts, and more importantly, we liked the direction it was heading. The details came later. Yeah, and you asked about what strengths and weaknesses too. What do you mean? Do you mean
I
like in
guess
the
your initial,
beginning?
yeah, initial strength, yeah, from the beginning,
Right.
initial, and then I guess how you slowly developed it over the years being an franchise owner.
Right. Very at the very beginning. My weakness, my biggest weakness, I think, was selling.
Yeah.
I I got this problem, Ian, where I can't collect money from people. Like it's and I just wasn't used to wasn't open to the concept of selling, and I didn't want to be it wasn't something that I was good at. And then I would say one of my strengths though was I was enamored by talking about business.
Oh,
So I
nice.
love business concepts, and I think that also helped a little bit in a sense where in terms of credibility,
Mm.
my initial wave, my initial friends knew already that Andrew's always he talks about business, like it's part of my identity starting out, so maybe that might have played a role. But having said that, only one friend from university that I've known, like my entire network in Canada, got started with the business and then became a six-figure earner today, which is
Nice.
Victor. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, he was the only one. Everybody else, like, they looked at it, but didn't really jump on.
Sure thing.
Mhm.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard somewhere you and your team, when you first started, you started before shop.com became a partner of Market America. Is that correct?
We're right on the cusp of it. So we're around that time, like during the discussion, during the during that time where Mark America just acquired Shop. Yeah.
Wow. So
hmm
just a quick background. How was it very different when you first started? Then when shop.com came to play, was it like a game changer or?
Actually, we before shop.com, we had a site called marketamerica.com, which did the affiliate marketing stuff. So it pretty much had the tools available. It
Mm,
just didn't have a powerful brand behind it.
mm,
So what we were seeing, like during that time, was we saw a lot of I can only speak for Canada because I'm not sure with Australia
mm,
at the
mm.
time, and I don't know, and Malaysia wasn't open yet.
Yeah.
But at the time, we saw a lot of 1% IBV stores, a lot of, like, and half the time it wasn't working, and you'd have to chase the IBV sometimes. But we saw that it was moving forward. But when shop.com was acquired, it was huge excitement because it was a refresh of the brand.
Yeah.
And and I remember clearly, one of my first attempts, like, to sign up a customer. Get this, a customer, free account, right?
Yeah.
This was back with marketamerica.com. Free account. They don't have to pay anything for it, and they had just introduced the cashback, so the customer has everything to benefit. All right, nothing to lose from it. And I had told one of my good friends from university about it. I think Shirley, that's her name. I told Shirley about it, and immediately, this is what she tells me, and I kid you not. She says, "Oh, I know all about Market America. I know all about Market America. Don't
Wow.
don't tell me anything about it, and don't ever talk to me about Market America." I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't even think that she would qualify to be a business partner,
Yeah.
but I was just trying to get her to earn some cash back for her online
Yeah.
shopping.
Oh, that's so funny. That's
Yeah.
so funny. All right, sorry, before we continue, just to let everybody else on this Zoom meeting knows that there's actually a Q&A tab on the bottom of your Zoom screen. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to enter. And then after the first half, we'll actually go through some Q&A with Andrew. So I can see some people typing it into the general comments, but please type it into the Q&A tab, please.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, it's more organized on the Q&A side.
Yeah, so good. I love this.
Yeah.
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 I
Did
guess
you
in a
guys
sense,
open the upvote feature as well?
yes, I think we believe we did.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yes,
Cool.
yes, that's on.
Yep, I see
Yes.
that.
All right.
I
So
love that.
so if you guys if you guys can, over time go into Q&A section and you see there's a question that you really want us to answer, just upvote it and then they'll move it up to the top or something.
Sure thing. That's so cool, so cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome as well. So I guess like one big thing right now, because I guess more people are using online platforms to build a business right now. And this current pandemic, as everybody's going through right now, we don't know how long it's going to go for. Like I know Malaysia's had this extended, Australia potentially for another few more months till end of the year. How do you continue, like, because I see your team culture over like when I first started, I mean, I follow a lot of people on Instagram, successful
Right.
UFOs. But I see
Right.
your team particular, like, a lot of other team, but you also particularly having this awesome culture. Everybody's unified. How do you still
Yeah.
create the energy and that core principle online?
Right. That's a great question. I'm still figuring it out. But I will say this, like, I'm glad we got the core together when we did. I'm glad we got a chance to get, to work together before and have like a set of beliefs, at our core that we know that once, even now, like when everybody separated, there's still things that we respect and we still, things that are engraved in us. So I think where that started was when we were fresh, like a new team starting out. What we actually got that was we went to a convention and we actually saw Olivia Lee's team, and we loved that. We were just blown away that, after they had this meeting after meeting thing that they did. Like, you guys know what meeting after meetings are, right? Like just the big circles that in the middle during lunchtime at conventions, and just all young people all dressed in black suits and Olivia was like with a white suit in the middle. And we thought, man, that looks really cool. And everybody was responsive and the energy was high. And so we copied them really in the beginning. And it adapted into becoming our own culture. But what I found like long term was like just a simple act of everyone doing something together, like suiting up, created a really strong bond among like the partners. Before, you should have seen us, Ian, when we were in our early 20s, man. Everyone's suit was too big for them. It did not look, sharp, but as a group together, it felt really strong. It's like we put on our work armor. So that kept us. That was one of the things that glued us together.
Nice.
But it's just the overall is the unshakable culture that we have, which is we go after master UFO. That is our base. There's our basic. And over time, it's evolved a little bit. Now with online, I think what we got to do is figure out creative ways to keep people engaged. But at the end of the day, just be at ease that your key leaders are doing what's needed to be done.
That's cool. So in a sense that if you say somebody new or somebody maybe have taken a break from building the unfranchised, how you get instilled to them the culture? Is it something where like you get like a contract, you slide a contract over to them and say, this is the culture we're going for. We aim for like to wear suits, we aim to go to World Conference in Greensboro, or yeah.
That really depends on the age group, because we had some teams that we were not very successful with. Some teams with young families and some teammates with maybe in their early to mid 40s. They didn't want to get bossed around by a bunch of 20-year-olds. So I think it's important to recognize that at every generation or every decade has its own strengths and has its own perks to do it. One of the things that my mentor told me early on when I was 22 when I started the business, right? And he said, Max Chen, field vice president, back then he was an executive director. He said, all you got to do now is to build a team and build belief in the group.
Mm.
Wait till you get to your 30s and 40s. You'll see that you don't need such a big group to make the same amount of income.
Yeah.
um, and he was right. Like I see it. It's crazy because when we were in our 20s, we didn't have the discretionary income to consume good products, and we know that Market America, for the most part, they have good products that might not be affordable for a fresh graduate student, unless they were getting it at cost.
Yeah.
And even so, like we had to make sure that we make up for it by having more people doing less. So mathematically, it all works out.
Yeah.
It just depends on the different generation. Now, when you get to your 40s, and when you get to your partners in the 30s and 40s, there's it's difficult for us to tell them, hey, listen, like you have to do this. We used to have this punishment if anyone within our core leadership team, if anyone did not hit the master UFO, we'd have to run around Max's swimming pool naked.
Ah.
And that was probably one of the best punishments because nobody ended up doing it.
Oh gosh, that's so good. Oh, that's so
Actually,
good.
we had two people, and we settled for underwear, not full naked, but they were wearing their underwear. But yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome. Nah, I think that I feel kind of like motivating myself right now if I did do that. If I
right.
didn't meet Master UFO.
Listen, this is a coring, right? Like this is just a breakfast meet, right? Like it's not an official I'm
Yeah.
not condoning that, but I'm just sharing with you what we did.
Nah, that's good. Nah, that's good to know. It's so good to know. Like I think that's the thing. I think I think the biggest misconception a lot of people see is that those who hit the pin levels or on stage have had that same success from the beginning, or that same I guess
Right.
the same belief or same knowledge or skills. I think a lot of them share even Liz Weber herself said from the beginning she's kind of like wasn't the best herself, but she just had the belief and kept going, and she's where she is at today as well. So
Dude, let
that's
me
good to
tell you.
know. I love that. I love that because like I first started, I always saw like wow,
Yeah.
Sabrina, Charlie Bear, who else is
Yeah.
there? Like Dryden. Those guys are like already at the A game from the very beginning, but they're like no, we won. That's a good.
Right.
But speaking of team culture, you guys hold a lot of very unique retail events as well. So I guess if you could share a little bit, like any sort of like advice on how you guys run like group events together over Zoom now, and any
Right.
sort of skills or stuff you kind of like encourage the team to grow into.
Right. Well, first of all, I can't take credit for it. It's my teammates that I was super blessed, like to have teammates like Benson Lee and Marielle and Napuna and Bronny and there's a whole bunch of those guys with John as well. A whole bunch of those guys with a lot of creativity and understand and good understanding of the business. So you need both. Like you need to understand creativity alone is not enough. You need a good knowledge base or understanding of how the business works and how to maximize the business. So when you add creativity to that, you can run any type of event. So we during this time, we're thinking. Now, obviously, this is like all fresh to us. Like we're new at this as well. Like we're just trying to figure things out. But one thing I'm noticing is that there's an abundance of webinars where people are teaching people stuff. You know, and every industry. Look across the board. You know, the life coaching industry, the personal finance industry, the all of a sudden I'm seeing more ads for people to teach people how to use Facebook ads to market stuff.
Yeah.
Because they know that's where everything's going. But then again, all of what's going to make us different. Now, we're always thinking like, where can we add the value and what's going to make us different? I think in the next week or so, the next coming weeks, if not already, we're going to see more and more social stuff move online. So we were ahead of that by about a week or two, adding more social activities, and it's important to do that ahead so that you know where the mistakes are. So I'll share with you. I can't share with you any immediate results yet, but I can share with you some of the things I've noticed with
Sure.
some of the events that we've run. One of it is that we started this lunch on Wednesday thing, where it's lunch on Wednesday is set up for, we were setting it up so that people could use that as a follow-up. People could use that from seeing the plan. They could follow up. They can meet with people, meet with other unfranchised owners in the business, and hopefully they share some product testimonial and all of that. And you could have your customer or person evaluating the business log on to lunch, and through lunch, we're talking and somebody talks about digestive enzymes or somebody talks about trim tea, right? Now, it didn't work out. It didn't work out how I thought it would. In fact, it worked out even better. It became a dialogue among leaders, because what we realized was that when we have a meeting like this, especially online, when you got lots of people in the meeting, a lot of people, even though for corings and stuff, we encourage everyone to turn their cameras on. Yeah. There's still people that choose to turn their camera off, and the reason for that, they didn't do their hair. They're singlet, that's the reason. Like, that's the reason. We're not gonna, I tell you, man, I'm wearing sweatpants right now. I don't know what, I've only dressed up like my top half whenever I'm doing all of like the Zooms. But the thing is that, even so, the people that really come in and engage in the conversation are the people that are comfortable with it. Like, people that have done it before, the team leaders or growing on franchise owners, people that have been given the opportunity before. So we'll take advantage of that and leverage each other's strengths, which is, you've got experiences that I don't, and I've got experiences that you don't. We'll trade notes and everybody just listens in on it. So we felt that with the business building. Now with retailing, Kay Zhu and Tom Holden did a really good one. Now they're on second week, where it's very simple. It's they get people on Zoom to drink, and they're just having fun drinking. They talk about a topic, and after that, at the end, they have a small section where they have a professional to talk about products that back up whatever they talked about in that topic. So the example of last week was, they talked about how to not strangle your spouse in quarantine or something like that. And so they had a health professional at the end to talk about stress, anti-stress formula, stuff that'll chill you down,
Wow.
That's how they promote it. And what Kay said was key. We had a conversation about this. She said, before, you had a new business partner come on, and there's a 50-50 chance that they would screw up a customer. There's a 50-50 chance that they would say, hey, this collagen is really good. You must take it. Please, you have to buy this from me, right? There's a chance that they scare away a customer, or when the customer asks them questions, they might not have the right answer, or it might not be confident. Even if they don't have the right answer, they might not be confident enough to say, I don't know the answer, but let me find out for you. So what Kay said, which was key, she said, now a professional does it for them on Zoom. Like, now all they got to do is plug their people in, to plug their customers into Zoom. So I'm foreseeing moving forward, we got to have, outside of the UBPs and the accountability calls and the corings, we've got to have two types of events on Zoom. One is follow-up, a casual follow-up for people that have seen the plan and that you're planning to move forward with the evaluation and ABC pattern. The second is a casual hangout type of event, where people get to know the people and also get to know about some of the products that we offer.
Okay. So that's cool. I guess now, I think one of the big key questions we had from some of our teams is that now that we're doing everything digitally, we cannot really do maybe if someone wants to buy a product on the spot, or they want to do try some samples. How does something like Kay Zhu and like Tom Holden or yourself get the customer to then agree to purchase the product without
How do you get them to purchase product? Great.
Yeah, for example, like for example, like it's easy to like for somebody to say, yeah, over Zoom, yeah, I'll try the OPC3. I have
Right.
allergies, but then later on you follow up them and say, hey man, just seeing like how you do your allergies as well. Then it's, oh, I actually didn't buy it because
Right.
for
Right. Right.
some reason, and we can't really let them know.
There's several tools that I like to use that we have available.
Okay.
Um, One is if you want them to shop from your website, take advantage of the. I don't know if you guys have coupon codes. Do you guys have
Yeah,
coupon codes there? Yeah.
yeah.
You can now set the coupon codes for one-time use. So like
Okay.
for first-time use or one-time use. So you know, to increase the urgency, we always got to have a limited time special. So after the event, they said, hey, they want to, hey, listen, great. You know, I remember you had mentioned that you wanted to get yourself a bottle. I've just registered a customer account for you. This is your email, and you know, you should have received the login.
Yeah.
Now, what I did was I opened up a one-time coupon for you, so you get 10% off your first purchase. Okay, that's a
But
great.
create the urgency. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
So we need to help them. I believe, you know, out of like all of our customers that said they'd try something, some could be your best friends, like the closest friends, but
Yeah.
you know, when they go home, it's just one more thing to do, to, you know, to go online and purchase something. Heck, I do that. I procrastinate on buying stuff online all the time. There's stuff I need to get, and I know it takes time to ship online, but you know, just you procrastinate. It's a chore,
Yeah.
right? So what's one thing that you can do to make that chore easier? The second thing is I I get rid of that chore altogether, which is, hey, I'm gonna do it for you. Good thing is, you know, I've got free shipping. Because do you guys have that, like, free shipping with Sam?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. So that's a great reason to hit Sam, because if I order it through my back office and I drop ship it to my customer,
Mm.
you know, I even though it ships to my customer's address, it's still free shipping for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have to necessarily come to my address. So I tell them right away, hey, I remember you mentioned you wanted to think you want. I'm placing an order actually for myself, but I've got free shipping on my account. Do you want me to place the first one for you? And
Nice. Yeah.
and then they transfer me the money, or they tell me, oh, you know, not yet. So either way, it's fine. If they express an interest, we continue to educate them. But uh, even if they choose not to, I think it's really important to practice restraint and not go, you know, try to push them for the sale.
Nah, that's awesome. Nah, I think that's great. That's key to be the best customer manager you can be for them as well. That's
Right.
awesome. Awesome. You just mentioned something about the ABC pattern. Now, this is something that I loved, is when you guys did the interview with Elizabeth Weather
Oh yeah. My
on the
gosh.
trial run. That was actually answered so many questions I had for like the past year regarding the trial run and the ABC pattern.
Right.
One big thing is that we felt that because Elizabeth Weber or even guys like national supervising coordinators above, anybody in the high pin levels, it may seem that somebody may follow them because of their pin level. Can this be
Right.
applied for somebody who's maybe even just started new or even just an EC or MC as well?
Mm-hmm. So what the question is, like,
In terms of
if
like
somebody,
sorry, I'll
if
rephrase that.
somebody,
The effectiveness of the implementing the trial run and ABC pattern.
right, right, right,
Does it
right,
have to
right.
be a super high pin level earner, or can it be anybody at all?
Absolutely, absolutely not. In fact, it's. I'm gonna say that I think it's better for an executive coordinator than an international field chairman, and let me tell you why.
Sure.
Because because international field chairman, there's always that. The reason we do the ABC pattern, right, is because we want to get it working. We want to get it working, and we don't want to waste our time with the wrong
Yes.
people. Because I've done this before in the past, and I still done this in the recent years, like, which is I've sponsored people because of they trusted me, then they liked that my wife and I are successful at this, and they said that, hey, if you guys are making it, then, you know, we believe you. We want to do it. Now here's the thing, like, that doesn't duplicate. that you don't really need to explain the logic of the plan. They don't really need to see the logic of the plan for
Mm,
them to trust the relationship. So you end up, if you had to use something like that for people to get started, you have
mm,
to carry them on your back the whole way anyways.
yeah.
And we don't want to do that. So with the ABC pattern, we want to find the right people to do it. Now, if you're an executive coordinator, or if you're just brand new, say you're brand new, right?
Yeah.
Getting started with the business, the ABC pattern, the evaluation approach, and the no decision close is the best tool that you can use to develop the ABC pattern. Um, let me tell you why. It's because the approach is actually more is actually easier for a new person to use. It's, hey Ian, I found this company that can help us develop more residual income. I think it makes a lot of sense. Would like you to take a look at it. And
Mm,
I know, here's the key part. I know you're busy. I know you got your kids at home now during quarantine, but I think you might know the right people. And if you know the right person, and if you can lead me to the right person, it could mean some residual income to you.
wow. Okay. Sure thing.
Like,
So quick, just to tap into that. When you say somebody like, hey, there'll be mutual benefit for you to
yep,
you need the right people to be a residual income for you.
right.
What if somebody says, actually, I have no interest in this business, but you're not asking me if you need people, you're gonna pay me, and they start getting resistant as well. He's kind of like, in a way, disqualify them, or
Right. Like
how's it work?
we'll see how far we can get them in the process. So after our interview with Weber that night, my gosh, I had nothing booked on Thursday yet. That was a Wednesday night that we did the interview. I had nothing booked on Thursday. I had a couple follow-ups booked on Friday and Saturday. But after that, on Thursday, I had Wednesday night, I couldn't sleep. Thursday morning, I woke up. I booked 4 personal show plans, like
Wow.
and out of the 4, I had 3 guests at UBP at Jim Winkler's UBP, and out of the 3, 2 are on the trial run right now.
Nice.
In which tomorrow we're getting to the B level.
Mm,
So yeah, I still feel I'm a little slow on that. Like I couldn't get to the B level through on the weekend, but
yeah.
still we're doing it tomorrow. So the thing is, it's just is this a matter of something's got to go click. And at the end of the day, the biggest thing that was lifted off was my realization that it's not about focusing on how well you show the plan and how much information you can get to one person,
Yeah.
but it's about focusing on the top of the funnel. We put our work in the top of the funnel, which
Yeah.
is, are we expanding our names list? Are we getting new leads? Do we have ways around that to open up to meet new people? Because once that is done, if I've got my top of the funnel always full, I don't have to worry when somebody says no. I don't have to worry when I have to disqualify someone. Heck, I got somebody that wants to that wants to register his business, but he says he's going to talk to his 2 people, and he hasn't done it yet. So I'm not registering him yet.
Yeah.
So
I guess.
yeah. hmm
Sure
But
thing. That's cool, actually. Now it really made a lot of sense. I even tried it with another. I just showed the first half of the plan. I booked the appointment like 2 days after watching
right,
the interview. Even just showing
right,
up to the first half of the PowerPoint slides, I felt so it felt good
mhm,
because when that decision point with the 45-year versus 2 3 plan,
yeah,
that's like kind of the game changer, because there's no point of like, it's true, my friend wasn't interested at the time, but
yeah,
we didn't go further. We just summarized it for him, and then he
yeah,
said, "Yeah, I'll lead to my auntie," and it
yeah,
was nice. It was nice. It wasn't so much pressure. I didn't feel like I was trying to shove that information to him with the
yeah,
steps and everything like that. So it's cool. That's awesome,
right,
actually. So
yeah.
regarding in terms of like that topic as well, how do
hmm
you, I guess in this pandemic as well, how do you use this opportunity to, I guess, re-energize your sleeping business partners, and maybe even your previous prospects that may have said no to you or have maybe ignored you in the past as well?
Right,
Because we're starting to see a
right.
lot of people starting to wake up, like what Elizabeth and you guys are sharing, is that now people say, oh yeah, I need this to work now in this time when I'm working from home. I may lost my job, or my own traditional business slowed down.
Yeah.
You use this opportunity to then get them? Do you call them? Do you text them? Do you just
All of the above. Yeah,
Nice.
all of the above, and I think the important thing is to reach out with with a caring intention. Um, uh, there's a long list of people that I haven't reached out with to because I haven't had an ongoing relationship with them for a while.
Mm,
So now now's a great time to reach out to say how they're doing, but but just always have the right intentions at heart. There's some partners that have tried the trial run for a while and haven't been successful at it because if we let it drag on too long, you end up losing people. You end up
yeah,
losing people's interest, right? And that's key. We got to keep it as a trial run, not a trial walk.
yeah,
Um, and they had a bad taste in their mouth with the trial run. I've got a really good partner right now. He's like, you know what, this quarter I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna try to do it my way. You gotta meet them where they're at.
yeah,
You gotta love on them. You gotta continue to show that, look, I'm supporting you. But most important thing that you can do is to create momentum yourself.
yeah.
Mm,
Okay, that's key. That's key. No, I totally
yeah.
agree with that. Like, I think sometimes when this happens a lot, I heard from another entrepreneur from he runs his own business as well. He said
Mm,
something along the lines of never trying to don't try to pounce on them and to make this opportunity for your own self, but see where they're at and see if they're
mm,
how you can help them as well, not
yeah.
also yourself. That's cool. That's cool. All right. And then speaking those people maybe have said no before, how do you help your UFO unfranchised owners um, get over the speed bumps of getting rejections?
Mm.
Because and how do
Oh,
you help them from going MIA
mm.
in your
Thing is, it always has to be like when I feel that anytime we're communicating, whether it's with a prospect or with a customer or with a partner, it
mm,
always has to make sense to them. I never want people to feel that I'm reaching out to them because I'm getting the BV and I want them to work. Like that's never the intention. Like if you want your business to last, it's got to be I want to help that person because I want their business to be able to develop so that they could change their life. So the number one thing is, do we know their why? Like I'm embarrassed to say there's hundreds of people that I don't know what their why is, or I may have forgotten, and that's shame on me. Like
mm,
and that's something that we have to keep reminding ourselves. Look, like okay, this person wants to help out. The family is going through a tough time. They want to help out with the family. This person, never got a chance to travel. One of their whys is to travel. So when you know their why, and they have a strong enough why, you could use that to help them do things that they need to be doing.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
think that's
first thing.
true. That's true.
Yeah,
I think it's like what Jazz says, you help them become successful, you become successful. And that's
yeah,
a part of the plan. That's so
yeah.
good. That's so good. Now I really like this actually. That's
Yeah,
powerful.
but the second thing, which is key, I was stuck on this for a while, which was okay. So now you know their why. The second thing is, do you actually know how to help them?
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
That's the only way. The only way you can do it is by trying it out yourself and knowing how to help yourself. And so like we'll take the evaluation approach and the trial run for example. um, I in the past I haven't been successful at it, so I wasn't very confident in reaching out to telling people, hey, this is how you actually do it. In fact, I was telling people, look, we want to make sure we get we'll get them all the information they need. We want to make sure we get them what's that on get them some customers so that and get them willing to use the products and all of that up front.
Yeah.
So process of us sponsoring someone might take months because we're slowly dripping all of that, and and over time the excitement drops. But recently with the traction I've been getting, like just this past week, it's changed everything. Like one of the small things that changed for me was at the end of the meeting. At the end of the meeting, after they've seen the plan,
Mm,
what do we usually ask them? We ask them what you like most about it, right?
yes.
And then what's next after we cover that?
what's the interest level, like from 1 to 10 or
Yeah,
something?
exactly. What's the interest level? And then if it's like around 5 or 6, then we'll figure out what other information we can send them. I'm going to send you some stuff to look at. Here's some research on our isotonics products.
Yeah.
Let's go over a budget sheet, when you're ready. And that process takes a long time and it's not fun. But when I was interviewing Weber, I don't know if you caught that, but after the plan, I asked her, okay, what happens now? I've seen the plan. What happens now? She says, who do you know can take a look at this? I said, wait, don't you get people that say, hey, I want to learn more about it before I want to learn more about the details. I want to dive into this before I get more people on. And she says, no, she doesn't get that, but I get that all the time back
Yeah.
then. And
Yeah.
she says the simple thing she did was she said, hey, don't worry about that right now. Don't worry about that right now. We're not there yet. How
Okay.
much did it cost to get started with the business? It was in the presentation. Don't worry about that right now. We're not there yet.
Sure.
If you like the concept of it, who do you know that could evaluate it with you and then take another look at it? You'll get your answer.
That's that's,
um,
that's key. I was listening to like Dryden Hodo's team. They used the
right.
personality quadrant. I'm not sure you saw it, the red, blue, yellow, green, to
Yeah.
identify what the prospect wants to look at. It was a green. They're like more like engineers, architects. They want all the
Yeah.
details and everything. But
Yeah.
that's key. I think it's good. And have you found difficulty to then, if after search and plan, if somebody's hesitant to share the names with you or get them to do the phone call or text it up front, how do you
Right.
overcome that speed bump as well?
Oh, great question. I got to make sure I'm mentally prepared for it.
Okay.
If I've got my top of the funnel full, I'm mentally prepared for it.
All right.
I'll move at your pace. Sure, I'll check in with you when you're ready. Sure, but I'm going through my top of the funnel. I'm going through who's next, who can overtake this guy.
Yeah, that's
But if
true.
my top of the funnel is 2 people and he was one of them, then then I become a servant. I
Yeah.
become
Yeah.
I
That's
become
key.
his helper. I'm like, oh, what can I get you? Would you like to drink some water? What can I, can I get you this information? Can I get you that information? At the end of it, that's not that's not somebody they want to follow. So again, top of the funnel, you keep that full, all of it like takes care of itself.
Understood. Nah, that's key. Nah, thanks for that. Nah, very informative because yeah, I think that's something we're still trying to figure out ourselves. Trial run,
Right,
ABC pattern in the most effective way. I
right.
spend a lot of hours I'm not saying wasting. It's a learning experience, I guess you call it. With
Yeah, yeah,
some people, you're trying to bring the horse to drink the water, but they just won't drink the water. Kind of like
right.
mentality.
Right. So like, like you got 10 hours a week to work in your business, instead of spending 10 hours talking to 2 people, talking to the same 2 people, uh, you spend the 10 hours talking to 20 people.
Sure. Okay. No, that's
Yeah.
very cool. All right. Thanks
Hmm.
for that. We actually got 22 questions in our
Oh yeah, I see
Q&A.
that.
Yeah, I guess we'll get through like the key ones that, and those have been covered. We'll just move on. But I think one is key is that how do you deal with young people or even anybody who always wanted to start their own business,
Yeah.
but instead investing in shop.com
Yeah.
and the people power and the developed platform already. How do you
Hmm.
get them to see the power of this business rather than trying to start their own business from scratch? I think that's what Tu Harla is trying to
Right, right. And 3 uploads there too, I see. That's a good good question. Let me tell you what happens if it's like going down a rabbit hole. Um, there, just put ourselves. Let's put ourselves in their point of view.
yeah.
They got this brilliant idea to start a business, right? They got something that's going to change the world. This cafe that they're going to open is not like any other cafe. It's a very unique cafe. Everybody's going
Yeah.
to want to go to this. And when they're like that, I never want to take their passion away, and I never want to put out their flame. But I'll give them whatever encouragement that I can, so that they know I'm in their corner. I want them to make it. I want them to be able to do it. If there's some things that I see might not work from my limited business knowledge, if there's some things that I see that might be a hindrance to them, I might bring it up. not to be a downer, but to let them know, oh, this could be an obstacle. But the whole thing is, I'd always want to be on their side than on the opposing side. And once that happens, I've established a relationship, and
Yeah,
I'm playing the long game. I'm playing the long game, which
that's
is,
true.
yeah,
That's true.
let them try. Hey, the best is one of the best teachers is to experience it.
Experience. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha. So if you're saying that like let them try, but don't make sure your funnel's full so you feel like you're trying to back them to look at your business.
exactly.
That's
Top
true.
of the funnel, keep that full. But
Awesome.
instead of investing in shop.com, if they took that passion and then they suddenly invested in shop.com, and realized that, hey, it's not as fun as them opening up a cafe, then it's your fault that they didn't
Yeah,
get to do it, and you can't sleep at night, so you don't want that on your conscience either.
that's true.
So yeah. So
Because
so at the end of the day, what I'm saying with this is that we want to keep it at what's that? Just maintain the relationship and
hmm,
know that it's not at a point where it's ready yet.
understood.
Yeah.
Understood. I guess on the plus side, they do start a traditional business. There's always that shredder and web centers too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Good
Yeah.
point. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How
Another
it's
question I think on the similar lines, I think it's on the similar lines, is about people who are uh, fresh grads out of university, or even just maybe 2, 3, or maybe quite young in their careers, their traditional careers. I
right.
think the question I think I'm seeing a lot of the similar themes is that
Right.
how do you get them to cshop.com as a plan B or second stream income if they're just out of university looking for work or even quite young in their careers already?
Right. 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 How do you get them to see it as something that they could generate income right away when they need income right away? Right.
Or is it like a plan B, a part-time second stream income?
Right.
I think it's very similar on the lines what you said just now, but
Mhm.
maybe you can expand on that as well.
Well, in more focus like to that, like it's the details when we're having conversation, right?
Mm,
It's always got to come back to residual income. It's
that's true.
always That's the beautiful thing that our company, is able to provide us is the residual income. And so, what I would recommend everyone to do is to really, think about it and JR talks about this residual income thing, but how many of us actually knows how it works? Like what plays a part in developing residual income? Everything's got to be moving at the same time.
Yeah,
One of the things top of my head is number one, being a product brokerage company is a big factor in
yeah,
generating residual income because we can always make sure there's products that are in demand. We're not
yeah.
stuck to one type of product line. Number two, the GMTSS is a huge factor with regard to residual income. Impossible for us to know everything, but there's people in the GMTSS that can teach your people, stuff and keep your business growing even when you're not growing it. Huge
That's
factor.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then tons of other stuff like that make residual income work. But the compensation plan,
Mm,
capping at 3,600 is a big part about the residual income because
agree. I agree.
that's enough wealth exactly with more people getting paid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think understanding that is important. And then when we're having the conversation with our prospects that are evaluating the plan, drop those things here and there. But the key thing is that this is how this develops a residual income. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool. I think that's key. I think definitely we got to make sure people understand this is a residual income machine, not
Yeah,
not selling business as well. That's
right.
key. That's good.
And hey, they don't have to give up their job search. They don't have to. This is not a full-time thing.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Another great question here um, from Lian Ho from Singapore.
Oh,
Uh,
what's up, Leanne?
wow, your vice president on the phone call. And so he
Mm-hmm.
says, Andrew, you mentioned you had cold feet after you registered your business. What she wants to know what you changed you around from being
Uh,
cold feet to where you are right now. That could address
right,
some of the concerns for our brand new UFOs. Thank you.
right. Thanks, Leanne, for that question. Yeah, I had cold feet because let me tell you the reason I had cold feet. I didn't know as much about the business yet because it was after like seeing it once or twice. But the main reason why I had cold feet was because I never made a purchase that big before. Like I spent $1,000 on starting my business, and this was before the Fast Start Kit. So and back then it was popular to qualify 3 centers from the get go. So I spent a grand that I didn't have to qualify my business, and because I had cold feet, I went to see my sponsor the next day, and I remember he was working at Mitsubishi in sales. So I'm like, Frank, man, like, did we mess up? Are we doing the right thing? And he said, let's go for a test drive. He took me out in a car, and then we talked about it for a test drive.
Nice.
And the thing is, he brought it back, and he said, I I I I thought you wanted to do this because you wanted to have the time freedom to do things that you wanted to, that you wanted to spend more time with family. And he brought up the whys again. And when he did, he says, so what we got to see is what other options do you have, and how else can you get there? In my opinion, this is probably the most realistic option, but if you think that you got something better, I'll come with you. So I think that was what turned it around. But what really solidified it was attending my first convention. Attending the first convention is crucial because that feeling, I'm sure Ian, too, like if you're, you're flirting with the line of, hey, I want to give up or not. Hey, I got that today too. And let me tell you why that's happening. That's happening because not everybody is that you work with is where they want to be. And it affects your belief because you're, oh, man, that person couldn't make it, but that person was a good person. If that person is, they're still at a coordinator, but they should be a professional coordinator. That affects your belief. So, if the thing is, not everybody's putting in the work that needs to be put in. It's as simple as that. But going to a convention locks it in, lets you know, listen, if it doesn't work, it's something on our end. Because at the convention, what I saw a well-oiled machine that you'd be a fool not to take advantage of.
Yeah.
I wish most people see it and understand it.
Yeah, honestly, like I think I spent almost 2 years without actually attending a major event, and that's my biggest regret, not going at the beginning.
Right.
But I think I was invited. Oh, I first started. It was the 25th anniversary, so I wish I attended that Greensboro convention, but I just didn't know what to do that time. Anyway, okay, we'll do a couple more before we move on to, as well. Another big question asked is, when prospecting 20 to 30-year-olds, what's the main talking theme that you will find will interest them to want to learn more about shop.com and our business?
Right. Okay. My most common themes for this, like 20 to 30-year-olds, is product brokerage, franchising, drop shipping, and zero in on residual income. So like when I show them the plan, especially if it's like a 20 to 30-year-old, I might not even go through the 14 slides, the first 14 slides of the UBP. I might not even go through that. I'll have my I'll have my browser open, and I'll have shop.com, isotonics.com, tlsslim.com, shopfinancial.com, motorscosmetics.com, lumiadv.com, unfranchise.com, and the Better Business Bureau page open.
Wow.
I'll have all those open, and when I'm showing the plan, I say, okay, let me tell you something, Ian. We're a product marketing and distribution company. So what we do is we identify products that there's demand for. So I go through the shop.com site briefly and say, but where the margins are is we've also been able to lock down a couple of exclusive branded products like the Isotonics brand. So I flip over to the Isotonics site. And, going through that, I talk about the pandemic and how, it's difficult to keep the products in store because it's in high demand. Talk more about the other product lines briefly. And I said, look, it's perfect because people can build this working from home. and we have a drop shipping platform where you don't have to pay, you don't have to pay extra money for Visa or MasterCard to accept the payment if you were to start your own website. This one does it for you, and the product shipped directly to the customer. You don't have to touch the product. And we're looking for people that want to take what we have and develop a residual income from it. Well, does this sound like something you'd like to learn more about?
Yeah, that's key. I think I like that we shared as well. I think on your corporate videos on Market America, having all the different tabs, all the
Right.
that's great. I think I like that. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the next question. A lot of them has been shuffled around. Just give me a second. One more.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're
So
working
hi
hard at
Andrew.
this.
Last one before we move on to our in our fun round later on, and we'll wrap things up later on.
Okay.
Last one. Hi Andrew. I'd like to know what you do, and how did you did it to increase your retail segment. And I think this ties in another question: how to overcome that fear of selling. I
Let
think we
me
touched
tell
on
you.
it a little bit just now, but I think it needs to be
Right.
expanded a bit more. Yeah.
Right. I'm still working on it, but let me tell you what helped the most was my Max Shen, my mentor. I told him I wasn't too comfortable selling products, and he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. He threw a book at me, and he says, "Go get." He says, "We got IBV for this book. Go get it from your partner store chapters and return us a copy." But he threw a book called Sales Dogs.
Uh,
And
yeah.
yeah, have you read Sales Dogs? Have you
Briefly as well.
briefly?
I,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Briefly.
So the gist of it was it had it showed like 5 different dog breeds that they related to. They compared to sales to people in sales, and I was thinking of the pit bull, which is the car salesman, the used car salesman, the people that are aggressive and that had to chase and had to get their close their customers and all that.
Yeah.
That was what I felt that I didn't have it in me to do. But then I realized from reading that book that there were 4 other dogs that were tremendous at sales as well, which is the golden retriever, great at service. These are the dogs that would go the extra mile. They would build a rapport with their customers. The golden retriever does really well with referrals. People refer more people to them.
Nice.
There's another dog called the Chihuahua. The Chihuahua is the dog that most of the engineers are the Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Most of them are like they know their research, and you'll have some of these people in your team too, where they might be socially awkward, and you don't want to get them started on a conversation that they're passionate about because they don't know when to stop. But a Chihuahua, I would buy certain things from a Chihuahua, like if I'm searching for a computer, I'm looking for someone who knows the specs, you know. So that helps. So there's the poodle as well, and then there's the basset hound. But I won't go through all of them. It's a great read. But I found that myself, I was more of a mix of a poodle and a golden retriever, and I figured out that the best way that I could sell products is by using it myself and people wanting to use it because I use it. And the second is I provide the extra mile service, added value, neat little thank you cards at the end, stuff like that. But yeah,
Sure.
identifying ways to do it.
That's good. I think there's one key thing, but I think sometimes we get too technical, but it's okay. We
Right.
actually got time for 2 more. According to Sabrina, we actually got time for a couple more.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Cool,
Let's
cool, cool.
this. Okay. Sure thing. Okay, this is a key one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So maybe for some UFOs who are maybe a bit young, maybe like after around the 20s, something UFOs join the business, they get bored and feel this business is for uncles and aunties.
Yeah.
How do you keep them interested?
Right. Let me ask you something. What was the last thing that you did with them? Like, did you give them a project or give them something to work on and ask them to be creative with it, or did you invite them to come to a meeting where there's other uncles and aunties teaching them about products? So the thing is, like, we get so caught up with the whole idea that we've got to follow the system that we were brought up in, when the system is changing like every day. Like people the way that we consume information nowadays is so different than back then. And what I mean by this is, like, some people will fall for WhatsApp spam. You guys know what you know what WhatsApp spam is, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah, the different ways that people will rob you in this pandemic. You just
Yeah.
forwarded. My mom forwarded it to me. And there's some people that respond better to blog posts. And so what I'm saying is finding out, with the 20 something, how do we keep them engaged and how do we keep them interested? I think one of the things that Max did for us was, he told us upfront, he says, this is the first young team that I'm building, so you guys need to come up with a lot of the ideas yourself as well. I'm
It's
here to
entrepreneurs.
coach you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here to coach you, and I'm here to give you our expertise, but you need to build your team. He
Yeah.
never sponsored a single person underneath us, but he was there for us the whole time. So I think
That's very
that's
good.
helpful. Yeah,
I think it's something that,
fragment
yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah, I think that's what Dennis Frank shares a lot when he comes to Australia a fair bit as well. He says, you're entrepreneurs. Yes, with a lot of tools and stuff from corporate, but it's up to you to how to be creative and make your own go as well. I kind of felt the same because I think I was 24 when I first started this business. I was the youngest in Perth.
Okay.
So, okay, yeah. So good. Okay, this is another good question. I think we've got time for two more. I keep saying that. Somehow we've got time's on our side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Many people have lost their jobs due to the pandemic. Do you think
Right.
they won't have the money, or they're too stressed worrying about starting this business? Because
Right.
this person says she feels bad to talk to them about business because the expenses of the ongoing of the startup and ongoing costs in shop.com business.
Right. Great. That's a really good concern. Number one is, hey, does Australia have the benefits, like the here we call it the CERB benefit, like the government
Yeah,
pays you?
we do. Yeah.
Malaysia doesn't, right? I think Malaysia
I'm
doesn't.
not 100% sure. I'm not sure about Singapore either, but
Right.
Australia definitely being looked after as best as we
Right.
can. Yeah.
So first off, looking at that from that perspective, we just had a new partner join us on Friday, because she was laid off of work. But when we were talking, she was like, "Oh yeah, unfortunately, I got laid off." And through our conversation, we're like, "Wait a minute, you're actually in a better spot now, because now you're getting money from the government, and you've got all this time to do something that you don't have to report income on. You don't have to report income on right away." So that's like a real strong benefit that we got right now, for anyone that qualifies for that. For people that don't qualify for it, but are still pinching their wallets a little bit, here's the solution. Don't get started with the business right now. Let's build your residual income first by seeing who that can do it.
Yeah.
One thing that JR does know this, but one thing that JR did to me in one of his audios, one of the first audios I listened to, was he said that if you can't talk to people, find two people who can. If you can't sell, find two people who can. If you can't recruit, back then he was using recruit, right? If you can recruit, then find two people who can recruit. Like, so that's instead of someone launching the business right now, it doesn't mean they can't start the business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they could lead us to more people and say, hey, hold on, we're not going to launch this person. We're going to keep finding someone that's ready to do it and going to tear it up. Meanwhile, how soon can you, don't just lead me to one person, lead me to someone else so that we can build two legs at once. And when we find the right people, timing doesn't match up, but at least you'll know this is a profitable investment.
Yeah, that's actually really good. I think make it work for them before they even register the business in the trial run. Yeah, ABC pattern. Yeah, that's genius. Right. Actually, it's starting all to click together. I used to get so confused with JR's audios, like
right.
because he gets so excited, he goes from one direction to the other.
Yeah.
And after 40 minutes, he gets back into the main topic, and I'm like, okay, but it only clicked to me this year actually.
Okay, well,
It took me a
let me
while.
tell you,
Yeah, it took some
it,
time, but yeah, it's cool. All right. Okay.
it hasn't fully clicked with me yet either. I think it'll only fully click when we've been able to get, a leg where 4 or 5 people registered their business in one day. Like that's when that's when it'll really click. So it hasn't really fully clicked with me either, but it's something. It's the best thing we could do right now, I feel.
Yeah, I sometimes feel like I think before we move on next, the last segment is that like I remember Phil Guido sharing with us at a Market Australia convention that he had 15 or 70 people all lined up ready to register. I was like,
Yeah.
that's like a miracle kind of thing, like
Right.
like something, but it works. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much for that, and yeah, thanks for all for asking those great questions. Actually, those are some great questions that was asked. All right, I'd like to bring up Elaine. So I know in your talk shops you like do like lightning round fun questions as well. So I thought we'd do the same for you. So I'd
Okay.
like to bring Elaine up, and she'll share some slides on the screen of how of the questions. Hey Elaine.
Hi, Ian.
Hey,
Hi,
Lynn, what's
Andrew.
up?
Hi.
Oh, I love your outfit.
Beautiful outfit, but I'm not showing you what's in the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was really a fantastic sharing, Andrew.
Yeah.
And I must share to everybody, this is actually one of the best advantages of Market America, the unfranchised business. We get to meet and talk to phenomenal people like Andrew, right? And around the world. So it's so good. So thank you so much. It's really our privilege to have Andrew with us for breakfast this morning. Well, personally, I met Andrew probably a few years ago, and I think that was in Miami, if I remember properly. And Charlie Bear and Sabrina introduced me to you, and they told me that, well, you have to meet this Andrew. He's a young entrepreneur from Canada, and he built the Team Toronto from very small UBP to large UBP where they were attended by thousands of people. So as you know, at that time, I was the UBP coordinator for Team Her, and you really inspired me so much that I really want to bring this idea of having 1,000 people for Team Her, right? Yeah, like, yeah, we wanted to do that. But anyway, now Andrew, just to make the entire
Actually, I want to do a quick comment on that. I didn't do that myself, but it's team effort and also like cross team within our community in Toronto. I would be remiss not to mention that we're blessed to be working with great people. That was just a small part of it.
Certainly, this is another beauty side of this business. It's all about teamwork, all about cross-pollination, like what we are doing now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Sorry, Elaine. Sorry, Andrew. Just one more thing. After this lightning round questions, we'd like to take a group photo, and we'll try to fit 3 people into the panel. So those who are still on, please do not leave after this. We're going to try our best to take a Zoom group photo screenshot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, but Elaine, I'll let you kick things off with the Q&A.
No, not a problem. Now, before I kick the things off, would Andrew, you be able to provide us with a brief background of yourself?
Yeah. Not here. My background's really brief and simple. I came to Canada in 2005, like for university, and what's that? Like I took finance in school. Never used my degree before. And when I launched my business, I was working in a warehouse, and I tried sales for a bit. It didn't work, but I was more in operations and delivering wheels for a living. So I drove a truck and just had a lot of fun with that, but I learned a lot about business. But since then, I've been an unfranchised owner right after university, and this was my career path. About 2 years and 9 months into the business, I completed my first franchise, and about 6 months after that, about a year after that, we hit national and maxed out that franchise. And about a year and a half ago, after coasting for a while and investing in different things and building different businesses, made some money here, lost some money there. About a year and a half ago, the company reached out, and Dennis Franks had reached out and asked if I'd like to consider being part of the corporate team. And it was by sheer luck that I fell into the position, and I'm just really blessed to be working with amazing people today. I love it, enjoying every bit of it.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Andrew. Now, are we all ready for the fun questions?
Okay, let's go. I don't know if I'm ready.
I will ask the first question, and then it will be Ian, and we'll take turn to ask you the questions, shall we? Now,
right, okay.
Be quick, okay? Don't think too long. It has to be a split second. You have to give us your answer. All right?
I've never been on this side of the lightning round before. So
I really enjoyed the interview with Elizabeth Weber. So thank you for that tip. All right. Okay. Ready? I'll be clicking the right click, okay? So I'll ask the first question. What is your favorite breakfast?
Roti telur bawang.
Wow. What's your favorite MA product?
Digestive enzymes.
Nice.
Now, if you can go back in time and restart shop.com again, what will you do differently?
Everything faster.
Name one thing you wish all UFOs you would do right now during lockdown.
Reach out and get people to evaluate the business and get their people to evaluate the business. Plug into the systems that your team leaders have, and plug into the existing Zoom stuff that's available. Use all of that to build your business right now. There's a window of opportunity.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what is your favorite movie?
Forrest Gump.
Ooh, that's mine too.
Yeah. So
what's your favorite shop.com audio from the unfranchised audio app?
Master Building Techniques.
By
J.R. Radinger, yeah. I think it was recorded in 96 or something like that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. What are the top 3 names you have for your baby?
We got the top one I know is Micah. We were looking at Delta, and we were also looking at Rivers for a while.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. Micah, Delta, and Rivers. All right. So we'll hear from you soon. What is the name that you'll be using, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
What's the first thing you do once this lockdown is over?
Visit Malaysia. Go home.
Okay.
Go back to Malaysia. Once it's over and it's safe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what my dad will do as well.
Yeah.
Eagerly waiting to go.
Yeah.
All right. Now, how do you de-stress?
Let me see. I play a racing simulation.
And you call that de-stress?
Huh? Yep. So the whole setup. Yeah, with Uncle Frank. Second way is I sing karaoke.
Oh wow.
I like that too.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Disney? Who's your favorite Disney character and why?
Disney character. I'm gonna have to say, wow, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Top of my head, Robin Hood. Robbing the rich to feed the poor, cap the top person's income, spread the wealth with everybody down below.
Nice.
Good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many times have you listened to the Basic 5 audio?
Don't know. More than 100.
Which USA major event did you miss since you started shop.com and why?
Like major as in international or world conference?
Yeah.
I never missed one.
Wow. Okay, that's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And why not? Why miss it?
Yeah.
Now, if you call your mom, what is the one word that she would use to describe you?
谈家. Love to eat.
That's good. Which is the most enjoyable trip in your lifetime and who with?
I think I think it'll have to be a trip that I went to with my wife, my best friend, and my sister. We went to Japan.
Nice.
Rented a car, drove the entire province, and yeah, it was unforgettable.
Awesome, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I like Japan. One day I wish that I can go back too, when
Yeah.
everything is settled, right? Now, what are the 3 words that you will use to describe yourself, Andrew?
Let's see. I like to think that I'm kind, and ambitious and family oriented.
Wow, so good.
Sure you are. I'm sure you are. All right, back to you.
Yeah.
Really need to click the screen. Oh, is it finished already? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay. It went so fast. Okay. Sure thing. All right. Last question. Last question is on the slide. Sorry, my bad. I thought it could be more. My bad. Sorry, Sabrina. What was your magic moment for you in this business?
I think one of the ones that still still hits me is when any one of my partners is the one I'm thinking of specifically is when Benson also hit national as well. Someone that I personally sponsored, we made it, and he hit national, and he went and bought a Porsche. And it wasn't the car, it was the fact that we did it. Like we started from nothing, and we did it. So I think help, and each one has been a magic moment. Like each new professional coordinator, each new senior master, each new supervising coordinator, that's been magical. Like that's, you can't explain that feeling. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. All right, one last question from Sabrina herself. She asked, to wrap things up, what is your advice for everyone who's listening right now?
Forget what happened in the past. Like forget yesterday. Like look at the business at face value today, and know why you're doing it, and take advantage of the time that we're in to make a difference in your life, and in part you're helping other people as well. So it's just take action today. Don't wait. Don't put it off for one more day or one more week. It's the time is now.
Wow, that was so good. That was so good.
Yeah.
All right, sure thing. All right, thank you very much. So I think we'll do our group photo. We'll do our best to get many people over as possible. So give us a minute to do this.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is cool. How are we gonna take this picture?
Yeah, it's like there's so many.
Hi. Okay, I have promoted most. We are promoting pretty much everyone across to the panelists so that they can share their videos. So yeah, that's I experienced a few millisecond delay, and then after that they should be able to enable their videos. So
please everyone.
Enable your videos when you see the button should appear on your screen.
Hey, Ian or Vincent, how do you move all the attendees over to panelists? Do you do it one by one?
Yeah.
Yes, only one by one.
Andrew, this is Sabrina. We will do a Zoom training especially for you.
Well, this guy.
Thank you for a wonderful session. That was so good this morning.
Sorry, Sabrina, I missed it. I heard like half of it.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, it was a very good session this morning, and thank you very much, Andrew. For giving us all these good answer and good advice.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks, guys, for
we had about
breakfast.
158 people, I think, on this morning.
Wow.
I've never had breakfast with 158 people before.